expanding our horizons to other sports as
Right,
well.
pickleball. No, I'm just kidding. We're
Dude,
not.
pickleball's fun. I don't care what
It
you say.
is, but like,
Pickleball's fun.
I
Like
can't talk about it though because I don't know anything about it. So if
I've always heard that
tickleball,
pickle, pickleball. I've always heard pickleball is for those who can't play tennis, and lo and behold, I suck at tennis, so it's perfect.
You're watching Detroit on Deck. Here are your hosts, Dave Cesefske and Josh Clark.
what's going on, everybody? Another episode of Detroit on Deck. Dave Cesefske, Josh Clark. Josh, you wearing a Cubbies hat?
Yes, sir.
How them Cubbies doing so far, man?
Now they're down 4-3 in the fifth.
But like last night, they got the win, right? A nice
Yep.
5-1 ball game. I watched, turned it on, and saw a
Yeah,
former Tiger on there, Drew Smiley. And
Yep.
who would have thought that guy'd last 3 years with the Cubbies? He's actually been okay.
Right. Well, let's not talk about the night before Monday night.
Well, they got beat up.
No,
So-
they didn't. They gave up an 8-0 lead and lost
Oh.
8.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's it's been a roller coaster ride with the Cubs this year.
I mean, they're
Right.
still sitting at 7-4. I mean, they could be,
It's funny.
a couple of games better, but we've lost our ace, so I'm surprised we're not below 500 to start the year without our ace.
It's funny you say 7-4. Tigers the same record, right? It's been
Right.
up and down with them as well. But hey, man, let's start off with what is really, I think the most important topic right now in Detroit, and it's the Red Wings, because this is a team that, talking about a roller coaster. I mean, they went on like a 7-game win streak. They lost like 7. It felt like they're up and down. They get a big win against Tampa Bay, and then they get beat up. And they only lost 2-1 to the Caps, but it felt like it just felt like such a gut punch, right?
Yeah.
Caps surpassed them in the points too. So, and the
Yeah, it felt
Islanders
like-
won.
Yeah, it felt like a gut punch just because the Red Wings had an opportunity to kind of put some space between them and the Capitals.
Correct.
So in that sense, it was a gut punch for sure. Thankfully, they're only 1 point out with I think 5 to play, so they still have a chance, but like they're gonna have to put some points on the board for sure.
Well, you got to beat some good teams. You have to beat some good teams, right? Like,
Yeah, no, I think their game tomorrow night. I think that makes or breaks their season. Honestly, they're tied in the standings with the Penguins. That's who they play tomorrow.
yeah, and the Penguins have been on a surge, right? Like,
Right, so they're both at 84 points right now. They're both sitting, 1 point out of that final wild card. So I think the winner of that game has a chance still. I think the loser, I think, basically eliminates themselves.
so it's like we talked about what they were doing good earlier in the season, and it was scoring goals. Now all of a sudden, it's like they just forgot how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know. I know that the last couple of games, like I said, they haven't been able to put the puck in the net, and goaltenders have been coming up hot. But like, it's frustrating because they're not playing bad defensively, really. I mean, you lose a 2-1 game last night. Ovi scores, obviously, and that beat us. Great players come up in big moments, and that's what he does. He always has, right?
Right.
But you just feel like there are a few players away. Like they're not quite contenders. If they could make the playoffs, I personally believe that there's certain sports where momentum carries over. Now,
No, 100%.
and the NHL is one of them, in my opinion.
Yep.
Now, there's a lot of turnover in the NFL. We know that, right? It still helps, but that can that momentum is, in my opinion, the NFL and the NHL. I really think that momentum carries over a lot. Now, MLB, it's tough. It's 162 games, right?
Right.
So, I don't know, man. I guess that's a question that I would bring up to you. What sport do you think momentum carries over the best? Because for me, it's the NHL. Thoughts? Or the
honestly, I think
NFL, because it's shorter.
I honestly think
season.
it can be in any sport you think about. Honestly, it could be even the NBA. I mean, you look back to the Heat a few years ago in the Mickey Mouse bubble. No one projected them to make a finals run. You look at them
Right.
last year. You could look at them last year. I believe they were a 7 seed last year, 6 seed, something like that. Might even been the 8 seed. Made
Yeah.
it all the way back to the NBA Finals again. They just got hot at the end of the season, and they just made a run through the playoffs. Now, sure, I believe one star player was out for one of the teams that they ended up beating, but still, like you got to play who's on the court in front of you, and it's no different. Like I think baseball doesn't really fit in the conversation just because, like you said, it's a long season. Like you can sustain like losing a starting pitcher like the Cubs have right now. Justin Steele for 3 to 4 week period because you still have another 6 months of the season afterwards. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Opposed to where if you lose a LeBron James, a Steph Curry, Jalen Hurts, whatever the case may be for whatever sport, like your seasons are only 16 games long, and you know what I mean. So it kind of is more important, I feel like, in those sports that are shorter seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm with you there. I think you can see some of our teams that we know really that's paid off for them. The Tigers done it in years past, but really who we're seeing now do it is the Lions, right?
Yep.
They won like so many games in a row, or like they showed progression. When Jared Goff's first year, he was really struggling, but they showed progression after he got that first win. Dan Campbell all of a sudden wasn't a punching bag. They're like, well, maybe this type of coach works, right? People try to implement the same type of thing with their coaches, right? Like, go get a motivator, go do this, right? Like it used to be like, oh, go get the McVay. Like, don't get me wrong, that works too. But I think what Detroit's known for is just being tough, right? Hard working. And I think he really just fits the mold of a Detroit coach. So it's worked well, but also, Josh, you got to have the right coordinators, and they've done a good job of that. You can argue what you want about the defensive side of things,
it makes me nervous because we both know Ben Johnson's going to be gone at some point, so it's going to really be a
100%.
key to see. It's going to be key, I feel like, when that day does come, if Campbell's actually a good coach or if it's more on his coordinators calling good games. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I mean, wrapping up the first topic, obviously, that we said, because then I have kind of a surprise topic I want to throw in here. And I know you're going to have a lot to say about it, but I want to throw it in there because it deserves it. But for me, I think Detroit's going to come up short. I don't think the Red Wings have – it seems like they're running out of juice right now. Patrick Kane was a nice story for them. I don't think he even resigns here. I think he's probably going to go somewhere else, like a Tampa Bay or something like that,
right?
An Edmonton,
a
whatever.
Bona fide team, right?
Yeah, I just saw, by the way, speaking of that, not trying to go off topic, I think Connor McDavid scored his, or was it Austin Matthews scored his 66th goal the other night? 66th goal.
Either way, whichever one it was.
I mean, they're both special.
They're both studs.
But like,
they're both generational talents.
Yeah, but I got to get him right because only one of them is Justin Bieber's favorite player, right? So, I mean, that man with that coat that he had at the All-Star game, he was feeling himself, man.
Right.
So it's all good. But Wings, I don't know. I think they come up short. Josh, what do you think?
Like I said, I really feel like I'm hoping to catch the game tomorrow night against the Penguins. Those are actually my two favorite teams. So I feel like one of those two teams does eliminate themselves. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how that game goes. I do feel like the winner of that game gives himself a chance still to make the playoffs. Where I think the other one kind of falls back.
Yep.
But I mean, if I'm a betting man right now, like. Yeah, I my gut's telling me the Red Wings aren't going to make it.
Yep.
My gut's telling me the Penguins are going to beat them tomorrow night. I think they overtake the Capitals for that second wild card.
Man, and that's tough, but you just feel like at the other side. I know you're a Penguins fan, but it feels like the Penguins have a little bit more to give, just a little bit more, trying to squeeze a little bit more out of those good players, those great players, right? I mean, Crosby's still playing great, but you got Malkin at the end of his career.
Right. Yep.
So, all right, here's my surprise topic, and this is a fun one because this stole the sports storyline in the last, I don't know, months, if you want to.
I already know where you're going with it, I think.
WrestleMania, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I'm going with because, listen, it was incredible. I mean, it was incredible. Day 2 was just like, oh my gosh, it was like watching a grand finale go off and then another one went off and another one went off. And you're like, what is going on? Right. I think it really, I mean, Vince is no longer involved in the company. And I think that's probably good for the company, especially with, I don't want to say I guess, it is, right? Because of all of the other stuff we know. Now, what was Vince good about doing? He was good at promoting. He was good at putting together a storyline, had great writers there. But I'm going to tell you right now, the WWE is in great hands because they're bringing people back. I'm watching again. I mean, it's finding its way on Pat McAfee's show all the time. He does work for the company, but ESPN is bringing it in, right? So
Yep.
don't be surprised if they continue to cover more stuff, ESPN, because what do they want? They want people to watch.
Yeah.
People are watching this. Josh, that match at the end was incredible. To see the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, come away with the belt and be able to raise it up like his dad wasn't able to do was really, it gave you chills, man.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. Your thoughts?
No, yeah, I 100% agree. That whole entire last match segment was, I mean, I basically predicted it, a lot of it, a lot of it. I didn't expect The Undertaker. I expected Stone Cold
Yeah.
there. So, I mean, it was a nice little twist there. So that was about the only part that I got wrong with that, but I expected Cena The Rock, obviously. I knew the Usos were going to get involved. I knew Solo was
Yep.
going to get involved.
Yep.
I knew Seth was going to get involved. But yeah, no, like you said, the wrestling's hot right now. No matter what company it is,
It is,
WWE,
man.
AEW, like wrestling is hot right now. Like, they're both putting out good products right now. And it's only going to get better throughout the summer. I'm excited for SummerSlam, which I feel is going to lead to a Rock versus Cody match for the main
Agreed.
event there. I think that's when he'll be gone till his Mania, because he did mention on Raw, like, oh hey, I'm gonna be gone for a while. I think he does come back at SummerSlam or a couple weeks before to set up that match for Cody and the belt. But yeah, just night 2 of WrestleMania, that might have been like the greatest main event in WrestleMania history.
I mean,
I
think it was.
Based on everything that happened,
Yeah.
everyone who was involved. Cody winning the title for his dad. You got the nostalgia there with all the old time acts. You brought back Cena, who is arguably the goat of the wrestling industry. So yeah, it was definitely a good way to end, as WWE says, the biggest WrestleMania of all time. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see where they go with all the how the storylines moving forward, and all the new champs. So
I got one gripe. Well, I got two gripes. Okay, here's one of them, because I know you'll laugh at this, because how you gonna do Cena like that? He's like doing the thing, and then he just gets ended. I'm like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And he was trying to fix his hair because he got that bald spot.
Bald spot
everybody
now.
saw that, and I'm like, dude looked like he was like driving his kids to school, and then he took his shirt off, and I'm like, this guy's got it still, man. He's
Right.
still going to the gym, and
Yeah.
and it was cool to see him there. But I will say the one match that I thought was a little weak for me was Jay and Jimmy
Yep.
Uso. I just, it didn't give me what I was hoping it would.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just feel like they're similar wrestlers. Honestly, I think Jay's the better overall talent.
I think that's obvious.
Just because I think he's better on the mic and stuff, than
Yep.
Jimmy. But their move sets are all the same. I mean, they basically do all the same moves. A super kick, a splash off the top rope, a couple punches here and there. Like Jay did incorporate, the spear, since last August, I believe it was, at SummerSlam when we seen him spear Roman. So he did incorporate that in, but other than that, though, their movesets are pretty similar. So it was just kind of watching. It was basically watching a mirror image of one person.
It was. Now, I will say, and I want to get your opinion on this, but outside of the main event, one of the underrated matches that I really love was Gunther and Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn beating Gunther.
If it wasn't for the main event, that was the match of WrestleMania.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And the storyline that they presented there, obviously his wife watching and stuff, and like, it was just like, okay, maybe they're gonna let this happen, but like, because Gunther's a great wrestler.
Yeah,
I mean, he had how many wins in a row was it? I don't even remember.
It's been a lot, but he's held the title for over 2 years, I believe.
We saw him wrestle.
It's like 665 days or something like that.
We saw him wrestle too, man, at SummerSlam. And he's the real deal. And there's,
my favorite part of WrestleMania, though, honestly, was R-Truth. R-Truth finally winning. R-Truth. I'm sorry, R-Truth.
He's funny.
He's a legend in this industry. To be doing what he's doing at the age of 52 still.
Doesn't look 52
looking
either.
like he's 30 still.
Right.
It's very impressive. So I'm glad, WWE finally decided to give him some flowers and win a championship, albeit with The Miz, who I really am not a fan of, but I do like that kind of combination together. So,
but I will say the Miz, he's a trooper though for that organization, right? He's
Yeah,
he's done a
100%.
lot of things that they've wanted him to do, and he's had some moments. He's had some
Right.
WrestleMania moments too, right?
Yeah, he beat Cena in the main event
Right.
a few years ago,
But
albeit The Rock helped him a little bit, but
it's okay. But I think but listen, they rewarded him, the other night, and he deserves it, man. Whatever you
yeah,
say, the guy's been the same since he was on MTV. He
right.
really has, right? Like that's who he is.
Yep.
Outside of
Yeah,
wrestling,
yeah. He's just a goof. He's just an overall
right,
goofball. He's just an overall goofball. So I mean,
right,
it's nice. It's nice to see somebody on screen be the same as they are off screen.
100%. Yep. So I liked it. I actually thought the women matches were pretty dang good, right? Like they were
Becky,
they were
I
keeping
mean,
people in it, right?
Becky and Rhea, I thought was better than Bailey than Io, and that's only because I
What
thought
about
Io.
damage control?
No, that was a squash match.
It was bad.
Like I expected that. I expected that, but like
Yeah.
in the Io Sky and Bailey, I expected to be the better match going in.
Yeah.
But I feel like Io kind of botched a couple of moves that kind of turned me off of that match a little bit. But I knew the end result of that match. I literally lost one match all weekend predicting matches, and that was Rhea versus Becky. I expected Becky to take the belt off her.
Yeah, that was another great match. I mean, how about the 6-pack ladder match too, man?
Yeah, I mean
That was fun though. That was fun
it-
because you don't see that much chaos usually.
no, 100%. It was fun, but I mean I'm just not a big A-Town Down fan, which is Waller
Yeah.
in theory.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have preferred DIY.
What about Awesome? Do you like Awesome Truth? Which you
Yeah,
know?
I love Awesome Truth together.
Yep. Yep.
I mean they've been together before, so this is their second time together. So yeah, I just really hope that they allow our Truth to
Do something.
to be himself and allow him to actually win some matches now and give him the flower that he deserves because he's 52. His career's coming to an end, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I would have liked to see DIY win the SmackDown titles over A-Town Down, but or A-Town Down Under, whatever they call themselves.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, I really no gripes. Honestly, night 2 blew night 1 out of the water. I feel like night 2 could have stood by itself as just being WrestleMania by itself. That's how good of a night it was.
It was awesome. I mean, it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was a long night, but it was just like
Yeah.
you didn't want to leave. You're like you texted me. You're like, I don't want this to end.
Right.
I didn't either, man, because
Like,
it was
awesome. Like,
incredible.
who's coming next? Who's coming next? Who's coming
Right,
next?
right. It was dope, man. It was a lot of fun. Now, my question to you before we move on would be, how long do you think The Rock stays in this? Because I think he wants a title fight, right? Like I think he's looking at this I think there's going to be some type of turn on Roman because like Roman couldn't get it done, right?
Oh, next WrestleMania is 100% going to be Roman versus The Rock. 100%. Whether Roman has the belt back, whether Rock has the belt,
and Roman's one hell of a wrestler, dude.
Whether neither of them have the belt.
Right.
I personally don't feel like Rock versus Roman needs the belt on the line. I think it's a big enough draw as it is. But yeah, come next WrestleMania, that's definitely going to be your night 2 main event.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, who do you, in your opinion, though, who do you really think should get that title fight? I know that I feel like The Rock is going to be in that discussion, but my choice is one of the guys that was out there, and he was out there to help Cody win that match.
Randy Orton? Oh, Seth?
No, Seth. I think Seth
No.
did. He owes him a match, dude.
I mean, he definitely owes him a match, but let it kind of simmer down a little bit. And the only reason I say that is because Cody and Seth actually had a feud last summer going into the fall time. So they've already wrestled like 3 times and had a pretty long feud over the past like 6 to 9 months. So kind of let that simmer down a little bit. Maybe next WrestleMania, kind of build that up, start Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Going into Mania next year, just kind of let it on the back burner for now. But yeah, as of right now, I personally think we could see an Orton versus Rhodes match at SummerSlam.
And that's fine because and my whole point basically is you can't give Rock a shot right now. Like it's not ready. Like it's not. Now I don't know how long they're gonna let. They're gonna let Cody keep that. But
if he's not champ at least until the Rumble, hell, even next Mania, like they did him dirty.
Yeah, because I mean, we know the story. Like if you haven't seen the documentary, you got to go see it. I think it's on Hulu, I believe.
Yep.
But it's incredible what he's been through. That pec tear, I mean,
Yeah.
that's got to be the most painful thing. Kept
Yeah.
wrestling through it. Um, the guy's been through everything, man. I mean, it was cool seeing his wife out there with him too, celebrating.
Yep.
Um, but
Yeah,
I mean,
the only thing missing was Dustin, man. I was hoping Dustin would have
of
been there.
course, and you were hoping Goldust would come out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, and I won't drag this out, but that's one guy that had the assignment and did above and beyond with the assignment. Because if somebody gets
Oh,
the
yeah.
assignment from Vince, hey, you got to be Goldust. What? I don't want to do. Dude took it
Right.
above and beyond, and then they tried to ruin Cody's career with being
Stardust.
which was just terrible, right?
Yeah.
And it almost made him quit wrestling altogether. So
Right.
if you haven't watched the documentary, go see it. It's incredible. The American Nightmare comes away with, I mean, the MVP of the night, really, I guess you'd say. And then Sami Zayn for me, a close second there with how that ended up. But
Yeah.
a great night overall. I will give it an A+. Josh?
Night 2, definitely an AA plus for sure.
Yeah.
Night 1, I mean, I'm gonna put it at like a B minus C plus. So
Yeah.
together, again, together, all together, I'd give it probably about a B plus, A minus.
Yeah, which is, that's a hard
Yeah.
grade, right? Like, because that's
Yeah,
that's
like
the
like
most
I said, it's
special
hard.
night.
It's hard to put two nights together and give it one solid grade for WrestleMania
Correct.
40. Now, if we're judging both nights by themselves, night 1 a C plus, night 2 an A. You know what I mean?
Yep, I'm with you.
Like,
So let's kind of move our topic over. We'll finish with the Lions, but I do want to bring up the Tigers here. We talked about it at the top, 7-4 right now. A little bit ups, a little bit of downs. They started the year 5-0,
Yep.
which means they're 2-4 the last 6 games there. So, and they lost a couple kind of concerning games against the A's for me because the A's, Geloff, he's fun to watch, and they have some guys,
Right.
nothing
J-
too good, right? Like,
right.
especially
JD Davis is all right, I guess.
right. But like, but especially like pitching wise, they don't really have dudes, right?
I think their pitching might be the best part of their.
Well,
team,
I
honestly.
like a couple of their hitters. I like Geloff. I think he's fun.
I know.
to watch.
I like Geloff for sure. But I think so. I think a couple. Of
I
their
like
pitchers
Shea
are
as
kind of
well. He's
underrated.
pretty good.
I think a couple of their pitchers are underrated.
Yet Sears, I mean, he's okay. I don't know. I'm okay with it. Blackburn is pretty good.
Blackburn, yeah.
He did shut him out.
Probably the ace, right?
Yeah. So we'll see. But I mean, it's the A's, right? And they're going to a minor league park. The Tigers, you can't lose 2 in that series. They did. They almost lost game 1 actually. If you want to get technical.
Well, I mean, the trickle effect of all that, if we're being honest here, I mean, they were probably just defeated from the night or the last game of that Mets series, getting walked off on.
Well, exactly.
You know what
So,
I mean?
and that was tough because that's a Mets team that was really struggling.
Right.
I mean, really struggling to get something going.
Yep.
And the Tigers gave that up. They just gave that win to them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Josh, some of the concerning stats with the Tigers
It's
are
batting average. Batting average is atrocious.
you look at some of these guys. Their leading
I'm
batting
sorry, I'm
average.
sorry.
Their leading batting average, Josh, is 222. Colt Keith.
That's false. I seen that earlier too on ESPN. That's not true.
It's Gio Urshela.
Gio Urshela at
Yep.
376.
I think they're going by like minimum at bats.
Oh, maybe.
So like it's because Gio's got 9 or 31. But that still wouldn't make sense. So here, I'll give you some of the numbers that really bothered me. Okay.
Parker Meadows first and foremost needs to be sent back down. That subpar 100 average.
He's 80 right now, actually.
Yeah.
So Spencer Torkelson. Okay.
Yeah. 200.
He's got no homers.
Yeah. Through 11 games, it's very
no homers
very
and
concerning.
3 RBIs. That's absolute terrible. Okay.
I mean, the RBI thing, I don't really hold them fault for. Like, the team's got to do him some justice and get on base for him. You know what I mean? It's been a lot of times he's coming up to bat with empty bases.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to do something better than this. And then let me pull up Jake Rogers, 130. Jake Rogers, can we stop playing him? Can we stop playing him? Because the guy sucks. He's not any good. Kerry Carpenter, 231, 1 home run. I mean, I guess if you want to call it a bright spot, and it's not even a bright spot if you look at the numbers, is Riley Green. He's hitting 205, but three
Three
homers.
home runs.
But
Yeah.
I really, dude, there's nobody on this team outside of Gio Urshela that's having a decent year right now.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, he's got
I mean, through
387.
through 11 games, I mean, your backup catcher is your leading RBI guy at 5 RBIs.
Yeah, that's
Like,
scary.
that's embarrassing.
That's
Right.
that scares me.
But what tells me is happening right now, the pitching is carrying them, and it's not the starting pitching, it's the bullpen. The bullpen's been pretty damn solid so far this year.
Yeah, the bullpen's been good, but at the same time, Josh, how many times can you go to them and continuously get a shutdown inning like they've gotten? Eventually, those guys are going to get tired. You got to
gonna
get
get
some
tired,
better
yeah.
starts. Casey
Yep.
Mize looks I mean,
I mean, which is expected out of him, but still, like, you gotta know when to pull the plug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's not producing, like, you gotta, sit him down for a week or send him down. You know
well,
what I mean?
Matt
Just-
Manning should be in that rotation. It should, in
Yeah.
my 6-man rotation, should be what they do, especially with the guy coming off Tommy John.
Right.
6-man rotation should be all the way.
Yep.
So yeah, let's kind of move topics over to the Lions now. The draft coming up here. We'll be there. We will be there. I'm excited
Yes, sir.
about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But Detroit, listen, I'm a Lions fan. You're not a Lions fan totally. You're a Colts fan, but you do root for the
No, I love
team
the
some.
Lions.
Yeah, but
they're my. I mean, they're my secondary team, but I mean, the Colts are my team.
I want to give you a couple names, okay? Because I have a couple guys that I really would like to see. Now, obviously, you're not going to get all these guys. This is like hey, if I could get like first round, like a couple guys.
Are we talking with the first round pick here, or just in general?
First round pick, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to give you a
Dude,
couple
I
names.
have three guys that they need to take there.
So I have a couple names that I mean, I really like personally, and I think one of them probably won't happen, but I'm going to give them to you. Okay, for me, I would say I'd like to see Dallas Turner, edge rusher, from Alabama. It's
You're gonna have to move up in top 10
well,
to get him.
not from where I see him. I see him as like I've seen him go like as low as like 15 in some mock drafts, but
I'd be shocked if he's there.
well,
Past
we'll
the
see.
8.
We'll see. But Byron Murphy. Love Byron Murphy at defensive line. Obviously, you got to trade up for that. And then another guy, Cooper DeJean. I mean, that's the first white dude that's played cornerback since like Jason Sehorn. So, which is absolutely a wild stat. But
Right.
nevertheless, this guy is super athletic with the he can return kicks too. So like, I mean, you probably don't want him returning kicks.
I was gonna say
if he's your starting
for that.
Totally, and that's fine. But if you need to spell him and return a punt or something, Cooper, he's a man, dude. So his size 6'1", 207, not a big dude, but it's cornerback.
Yep.
I'm fine with it. So,
Yep.
and then one more name I want to throw out there to you, because I think it's possible. Is Kool-Aid McKinstry.
That's one of my guys,
at
yeah.
corner, because they like to go Alabama guys anyways, you know what I mean?
I think Kool-Aid's the fourth best cornerback on the board. So
Yeah, I mean, but he's a hell of a player, right?
No,
So he could
100%,
come in and start from day one.
agreed. Kind of the same way Brian Branch did.
What about
But
you?
no, yeah, two of those guys were two of my three guys, being Kool-Aid and Cooper DeJean. Those are two of my guys that I want. Obviously, the cornerback situation has to be addressed, whether it be later in free agency,
Has to be.
whether it be through the draft, whether it be through a trade before the deadline. Like you have to address that cornerback situation somehow, some way.
Yep.
Before the playoffs start, because I'm sorry, but if you're starting, Vildor again in the playoffs,
Oh
like,
my
you're just-
gosh.
you're just doomed from day one.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, the last guy that you didn't mention, who I really like, and this might be a little reach at 29. I've seen a lot of mocks have him going anywhere between.
I have an idea who you're going to go with.
I've seen him going between a mid first rounder all the way to a possibly like mid second round pick,
Who?
and that's defensive end out of the University of Washington, Braylon Trice.
Okay, that's not who I thought, but yeah, I mean,
I love Braylon Trice. I really think that he is kind of in the same mold of like a Lamar Woodley.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't he get hurt in the game against Michigan?
I think he was hurt coming into the
Okay,
game.
yeah, because he was not. I know they were talking about him, and he wasn't as effective. But I mean,
Yeah,
that's the best
the kid,
offensive line in this country.
the kid's an animal. You put him opposite of Hutch, or whatever the case may be. Like
Yeah,
for years to come, like
that'd be nice.
You got something to work with.
And you need you need more help at the edge rush position because if you had another guy, we win and we're going to the Super Bowl. Because that's the thing, Hutch can't do it all. They were game planning him, and that second half, I'm sorry, but Brock Purdy had way too much time.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sorry. I would love to see them draft a kicker too later in the.
oh,
the
I
draft
wouldn't mind
too.
it, but I like the kid
No,
from the UFL or
from the
USFL.
yeah, Jake Bates. Yeah,
I don't mind the
but
kid.
no, they need to address kicking. I don't care.
Oh, I do
Dan
not
Campbell,
want Badgley.
You cannot keep going forward, Dan Campbell. You cannot. Sorry.
Yeah, you got to stop going for it on fourth.
I don't care who hates me in the state of Michigan. I don't care who hates me in the organization of the Lions. Dan Campbell cost you all a Super Bowl.
I won't go that far, but I'll say that his decisions were a little bit
like you said earlier though in our momentum debate. That was not kicking those field goals. That's a huge momentum swing.
But you also had that's the problem with the organization. You had a guy that can't kick field goals. Badgley, he sucks.
I mean, I'm taking my chances though from 45.
I don't know.
45 yards. I mean, granted, I will say this because I don't want to get a lot of backlash. Should Josh Reynolds have caught those balls? Absolutely.
Of course he should have.
They were right in his hands, but
he's gone.
That's not the Carolina Panthers week 4 at home. You know what I'm saying? You're on the road at the best defense.
Yeah.
Take the point. Take the points.
Keep the
momentum on your side.
We're moving on because that's just, sour grapes, for me with that game. But another guy that could help them, dude, you're not drafting him in the first round. It's going to be, later on in the draft, but Mike Sanders still, and I'm not trying to just be like a homer, but that guy's just a player.
Yeah, he's just a baller. Like, it doesn't matter where you put him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, he's one of those guys that you can keep moving around. Like,
yeah, you can nickel safety, cornerback, whatever the case may be. He is a little undersized. I believe he's 6 foot even or 6'1", so he's a little smaller. He might even be smaller than that, honestly.
You're a Florida Gators fan, right?
Yeah.
Rick, what are your thoughts? We're going to need a receiver. Ricky, was it Pearsall?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
I like him. A little injury prone. But
he's got wheels though, right?
Wouldn't mind seeing the Lions snatch him somewhere between the 4th and 6th round.
Yeah, he's only 6'1", which is, he's all about. I mean, but the guy I like that's not going to be there is Keon Coleman or
yeah, he'll be.
What's Texas's guy?
Second.
Is it Worthy?
Oh, Xavier Worthy. Yeah, there's a lot of rumors of him going to the Chiefs with that last pick of the first round.
Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. That's another guy. But listen, we need another receiver now. Jalen McMillan could be the guy. You mentioned Washington. That's another good guy. Yep. We're not getting Rome. He's not going to be there. Aduze.
No.
He's not going to be there, but he's a nice player. But McMillan wouldn't be bad.
You can get Roma Dunze's counterpart. I'm drawing a name on it.
That's who it is. Jalen McMillan. Jalen McMillan is the other receiver there.
From Washington?
Yep.
That's not who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, if you're thinking of somebody else, you're thinking of Braylon Trice, who's an edge rusher. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a receiver.
Yeah, that's McMillan's the guy that I remember being the other wide receiver. If there's another guy coming back for them, maybe, but McMillan is the guy. He's that name. But I'm going to throw out a name out there too that's kind of getting a lot of love right now. Is Spencer Rattler at quarterback.
Right. Yeah, I love Spencer Rattler. I really do.
I mean, if you can wait 4th, 5th round, that's not a bad name. I know you're looking right now. It's McMillan is who we're talking about.
Dude, I'm telling you, I don't think that's him.
The guy had a hell of a year at Washington.
Yeah, I'm looking at their roster right now, trying to find it. I'm trying to see if I can find that.
Well, it's good for live podcasting where we're
No, right. But no, I'm telling you, there's another guy that was opposite. I'm telling you, my
You're
buddy
talking
Kevin
about
Polk. There you go. Polk. Yes,
That's
Polk
who it
is the
is.
second guy there. Polk is the second guy there.
But I'm not. Yeah, I mean, Polk is going to be a second rounder. I'm not going
That's
to
what I'm.
draft. I can't draft a guy that high. This team needs too much on defense, and they need another lineman.
But you also still have a crap ton of cap space.
Yeah, but who else is out there? There's nobody out there, man.
I'm telling you, like there's still some people out there that would make this team
what I want to be pissed about is if they wait until there's trash out there and sign some old corner. Like that's what they do a lot of times, and
right.
Like I'm sorry, I don't need to see an old corner. Who's the dude from Dallas who they probably will cut?
Oh, Stephon Gilmore.
I don't need to see him.
There's been some. That's funny you said that. There's been some rumblings about him potentially coming to Detroit.
He is not the same player, man. You know that.
He's definitely not Buffalo and New England Stephon Gilmore no more.
Speaking of giving a little love, man, to a corner, Logan Ryan announced his retirement yesterday. That dude had a career.
He did.
He went to the Super Bowl 3 times, won 2 of them with the Patriots, but I mean, he was sneaky good.
Yeah.
So it was. I watched his retirement video. It gave you a little bit of chills. I'm like, I'm not a Logan Ryan guy, but like,
right.
That's cool, man. He started from the bottom and really made a name for himself. But the draft's gonna be interesting because the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, could easily trade out of that first round too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by that either.
Right?
Because I believe they have an early second round pick as well.
I'm pretty sure they do. And why not stack? Because when you're talking at the end of the first versus the top of that second, really, are you losing that much? Probably not.
No,
you're
not
paying
really.
those kids less too. But with what they're looking at, we talked about it too. Chris Jenkins would be fun to watch too in a Lions jersey, right?
Yeah, no, that's personally the direction that I'm going. I'm building up that defensive line. Like you got to be.
I'm
able
all
to get
about
pressure.
it.
You got to be able to get pressure on the quarterback. Having Hutch on one end right there is pretty nice. I like Marcus Davenport as a rotational guy, not as necessarily an every down guy.
Yep.
At the other defensive end, and then bringing in DJ Reader, that's huge to kind of keep him. And
that is huge. We were already. What were we good at last year? Stopping the run. What does he do? We're going to dominate
the run. That's what I'm saying. So McNeil's going to be even better though because he's going to be healthy now.
Oh yeah,
not healthy, but I'm sorry, but he's going to be fresh. He's going to be fresh.
Aleem's going to have a Pro Bowl year. He's going to have a great year.
He definitely should for sure. So that's definitely going to be the strong point of that defense, I feel like.
But I will tell you.
But that's also what you need for a good defense. You need a good defensive line putting pressure on the quarterback. It's going to make your linebackers better. It's going to make your secondary better. Like so, props to Brad Holmes in the front office to build that line up a little bit. I'd still want to see some moves done, and bringing in a guy like Chris Jenkins would be absolutely crazy. Having a 3-headed monster like that.
Oh, I love it. Another name though. Who, I mean, we talk about drafting Kool-Aid or something like that. Another name that you could look at probably losing his job if he doesn't start playing better is Kirby Joseph at safety because he was.
You think so?
Dude, he was not the greatest last year. He did not grade out well. I love Kirby, but I don't know that that team loves him. I mean, they sat him a couple times last year. Why did I don't know, man. I could see something happening like that. But also, just with Aaron Glenn, it just seems like his patience with Kirby is a little bit short. Now, Glenn could be gone too. I don't know.
Hopefully.
People say that, but I don't really like his defense.
Yeah,
personally.
I think that's one of the.
He's riding the coattails of Dan Campbell.
Right, like I don't understand how he was up for
a coaching job. I mean, I'll tell you why.
Assistant coach of the year last year, he was up for, I believe.
This isn't controversial at all. I'm not trying to be. That Rooney Rule is not a good rule in the NFL. I want black coaches to get jobs. I want white coaches to get jobs. I want whatever, man. I don't care what color you are. I do not care.
This is what I want qualified coaches. Whether you're whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Mexican, whether you're whatever the case may be, Chinese, like Japanese.
I don't care.
Whatever,
I'm all about it.
I want a qualified coach who knows the X's and O's of the game.
Norm Chow was one of the best offensive coordinators in college football for years. Ask Vince Young. Right? So I don't care what color you are. Just do the job and do it well. And Aaron Glenn has not been a good defensive coordinator. So for him to get those jobs, In my opinion, that's teams saying we're going to check that box of the Rooney Rule, and then we're going to go get our guy. And to me, that's a slap in the face to Aaron Glenn and every other African-American coach. Yeah. So get rid of that rule, man.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's nice. It is nice to see, some diversity in there, and the coaches that are in spots. Of course. The ones Tomlin, obviously, Hall of Fame coach. Incredible. When he's done, Hall of Fame coach without a doubt. When
Miami coach that was done wrong, right?
Oh yeah. Then you got Raheem Mostert. I think Raheem Mostert's going to be good for Atlanta.
Why not? He was
really
great
good for Atlanta.
Yeah. I mean, and then Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles is
Todd Bowles, in Tampa Bay.
Right. Even though Todd Bowles lost that game because he didn't call that timeout. But listen. What our point is here is it doesn't matter what color you are. The league should be looking past that now. I mean,
they should want the best. They should want the best of the best coaching their organizations within the league.
Like for me, I don't care that there's not a white dude at cornerback. I don't give a damn. I just want you to cover the ball. So if it has been the case where it's not been a white guy that has been good at the position, fine.
Right.
But now there's a guy, right? So, I don't care. I just want to win ball games, and that should be how the NFL is. I don't think it's that political, but, hey, we got that rule in there, and because of that, you have interviews with Aaron Glenn, and it's embarrassing for a guy like – in my opinion, I think it's embarrassing for – it should be because he didn't really have that good of a year. The best coordinator on that team by far was Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson didn't take those jobs. Now, I will say this. Happy he came back, but I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, but he'll be gone this year.
Oh, 100%.
I feel
Commander's job.
Yeah, I personally just feel like the loss in the NFC Championship game kind of left a sour taste in his mouth, which kind of was what brought him back.
Yeah.
But we all know he's going to be up for another job next year, and we'll 100%. Get some job.
100%. So, all right, Clarky, man, it's time for me to go, bro. I got to go get some food. Got to go take the wife to get some food, but I'm going to post this tonight here for everybody to watch. Some exciting news starting next week. We're going to have the pot up at least 3 to 4 times a week, so that's going to be fun. We will be on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, potentially a Saturday show in there, and that'll be a lot of fun. We'll be able to get some more WWE conversations in there.
Absolutely. We can start expanding our horizons to other sports as well.
Right, pickleball. No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, pickleball's fun.
It is, but
pickleball's fun.
Well, I can't talk about it though because I don't know anything about it. So
I've always heard that pickleball. I've always heard pickleball is for those who can't play tennis, and lo and behold, I suck at tennis, so it's perfect.
Pickleball. Okay, we'll make sure to keep that in the edit.
Please do.
Oh man! All right, Clark.
That's funny.
On pickleball, I'm out. I love you, brother. Peace.
Love you.
Thanks for listening to Detroit on Deck. Be sure to like and subscribe to our page for more Detroit content.